All right, so welcome to Intuition to Income 2024. This is Abby Gooch, and I am so excited to be here with my friend Anne. Now, I just saw Anne performing live. She does marketing and branding, and I asked her to come on the show because I wanted her to talk about intuition in relationship to, of course, income, but also to the marketing and branding aspect of business. So, Anne, welcome to the show. If you want to just introduce yourself to our audience and, yeah, dive straight into the questions.
Okay, great. Thank you, Abby. This is so exciting. This is so great. I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I have 25 years of design and art direction, working for Vogue magazine for, I don't know, 5 or 6 years. The only person ever worked there without any fashion in her portfolio. And how that actually occurred was I really understand a brand and a message and how you can stand out. Because there's a lot of designers, there are a lot of good designers, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of good art directors, just like in any profession. And that's what really got me a seat at the table on the creative team at Vogue, was really understanding how do you do that? And part of it was using my intuition.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just going with the flow of, I mean, sometimes intuition is like you feel like, oh no, I can't do that. You
Mm-hmm.
hear the
Well, that's
voice.
your mind. That's not your intuition. Your mind saying I can't do that is not your intuition, it's your thought. But that intuition, that
Yes,
underlying knowing that you can is your intuition.
exactly. It's like the intuition is like, go for it, go for it. And the mind
Right.
is like, what are you, crazy? And you're
Yeah.
like, well, good thing I'm half crazy.
Right.
I'm a
Exactly.
genius
Right.
and I'm
Technically
half
crazy.
crazy.
That's okay. That's awesome. Very cool. I love that. So, how can you help people find their own unique branding and messaging and marketing, as they're thinking about either stepping out into their business or representing a company that they're a part of? How would you suggest they do that?
And it's so great because right now we are in the middle of a world trend change,
Mm,
right? With no longer do you actually work for someone.
yeah.
The
Unless you choose to.
you can,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
those jobs that can be done by AI are
Mm,
going to be done by AI. So what becomes more important is that you develop your own brand, whether you're, I think it's called an entrepreneur or
mm,
an entrepreneur. So whether
okay.
you're working inside of a construct of someone else's business or you have your own business, it's extremely important to develop your unique brand and your messaging so that you become an integral team player,
Yeah.
whether the CEO or whether you're working for someone.
Mhm.
And branding and messaging, how I created it, because I'm half crazy, of course. I created my own archetypes because I wanted to simplify. And even in business right now, what I'm spending most of my time doing is simplifying what the structures that I'm putting my clients in. So part of that simplification about 3 or 4 years ago, well, now it's longer. COVID is like, my brain got like, hijacked during COVID. But I've probably given this quiz, it's called the Renegade Brand Archetype Quiz, to over 1,000 entrepreneurs, and it's spot on. So
Wow.
it's just a we are multifaceted as human being, and we also have our strong suits. We have the ways that we've always operated in our lives, the things that have always attracted us. It's kind of like having this little groove in your brain
Yeah.
about, oh, this is how I actually shine. This is my genius. This is what I do. So this quiz really helps people to focus in on that.
Mhm.
I'm fond of saying you can't see your own eyebrows. So you can't always, it's not like you're going to be surprised.
Yeah.
You're going to go, oh, yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
And some of us like to think we're nurturing,
Mm.
and we end up being more like a geek. And all of it's good. There's nothing, I have no, it's all whatever works for you is the best thing to
Yeah.
do. Just
Yeah.
like in marketing,
Yeah.
or branding or anything else that you're doing for your business, what works for you, keep doing that.
Mhm, mhm.
And if you try something and it's not working as well as your expectation level, which is usually where the gap lies,
Yeah,
um, tweak it, get some feedback, do it again, do it
mm,
again, do it
yeah,
again. It's not what entrepreneurs love to do. They love to create,
yeah,
and it's the iteration
yeah.
that creates the depth and the experience and what I consider mastery
Mhm, mhm,
in whatever arena that your business is
mhm.
in.
Yeah, I love that. So it sounds like seek help a little bit, right? If you're feeling stuck, have an expert, like marketing expert such as yourself, look at it. And I'm wondering what people can do internally from their own intuition, to kind of find that message and find that branding niche that does set them apart. If you have any advice on
Yeah,
that.
I mean, what I would say about everything, and I'm sure you're aware of this, Abby, and your viewers probably are too. Everything is inner, and
Yeah.
then it reflects to the outer.
Right.
So you want to align as much as possible, and the archetype quiz helps you to begin to align your
Yeah.
message and your brand with who you actually are,
Yeah.
not with what some marketer is telling you. Well, here's the equation for an introduction.
Yeah.
This is how it's going to go. Da,
Right.
da, 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 da. Part of our brain
Yeah.
loves, right? We
Right.
love,
Yeah.
just tell me how to do it.
Yeah.
The other
Right.
part that really sticks with people is novelty.
Hmm.
So when you can really tap into I believe we all came onto the planet with our gifts already intact.
Totally.
We've had it educated and beaten out of us essentially by our society, whichever one you grow up in, our religion, our families, what they believed, all these things that have put the limitations around our own creativity and genius of what we bring. At least when I talk to my mom, I don't know, do you have kids?
I don't yet. Soon. I want them very soon.
Okay, good. Well, they're all different. They don't come the same. It's not like one size fits all. I'm
Right.
going to raise my kid this way
Right.
because
Right. Let them be who
it's
they
growing
are.
up is
Mhm.
Dr. Spock, who's
Yeah.
proven to be
Yeah.
completely wrong. But, at the time was like the expert. Um, so we're all different. We
Mhm.
all have we have basic human needs, but we're different in how we approach our point of view, how
Mhm.
we interpret something.
Right.
People are going to be paid not for their skill,
Mhm.
not for their knowledge, because we have AI knows freaking everything. Okay. But you will be very useful in your point of view.
Mhm.
So what we must do right now is pump it up, whatever it is for you.
Yeah.
Make it, get out on the edge
Yeah.
and make it really big. People are going to love you and they're going to be repelled. And that's a great brand.
Love
It's a great
you
brand.
or hate you.
It's a love you, hate you relationship. Either way, you get attention.
Right.
Either way, your people that believe what you believe will come and work with you.
Yeah, I mean, another way of saying that is like, what do you stand for? You know that song? It's like what I stand for. It's
Yeah.
just so beautiful. I know for me, like my values, like the honesty, the integrity has drawn people to me from those core values. So when you really take a moment to say, okay, what do I stand for? What are my values? What is my message? What is my point of view? It is going to help you dig your feet in the ground at the sand, to really say, I am here on purpose with my gifts, and I was agreeing with you that I believe we do come with our unique gifts, and sometimes they're nurtured and sometimes they might be repressed by, like you said, could be your family or religion. For me, my parents were actually really nurturing to it. That's part of the reason I teach the intuitive child now is for parents and kids, so parents can nurture their children to be
Yeah.
more intuitive and have their gifts, right? So that's our job, to really provide that for them. So yeah, and you can go to theintuitivechild.co, everybody, to check that out because I just love it. We're in the school systems now, and it's just exciting to like see what can happen when you follow your intuition and the children follow their intuition. So, uh,
Absolutely.
And I really love what you're doing. And I keep wanting to ask you, how can they get that quiz? Like, what's the link where they can follow that?
Oh, it's they could go to annbennettmarketing.com/, I think it's quiz or archetype quiz. They can
Okay.
go over to the website. It's on the main page of the website.
Okay.
I
Great.
can give you the link if you want to put
We
in
can
the.
put it in the notes. Yeah. And it just sounds like your main site, annbennett.com. They can find it from there.
Yeah,
That's
it's
perfect.
super fun. And it
Yeah.
takes about 3 minutes if you don't overthink.
Oh, I know, right? Go with your intuition. Your
For
first. Yeah.
overthinkers, you're gonna,
Yeah.
it could be
Totally.
days for you because you're gonna procrastinate and overthink. But it's really about using your intuition and
Yeah.
allowing the first thing that drops out of your mind to be the right thing.
Right. Yeah, 100%. So how did you start following your intuition? What was your experience of connecting in with that part of you?
I think, I had a little bit of a leg up being a creative.
Yeah.
My mom, particularly my mother,
Mhm.
uh, didn't allow us to have coloring books. She just would give us a sheet of paper
Mm.
and crayons and Play-Doh and all the stuff
Yeah.
we used to have when
Yeah.
I was a kid, right?
Yeah.
Erector sets before Legos and things like that.
Yeah.
So it really allowed me to develop my imagination.
Mm.
And I think the key to intuition is really your imagination. I
Hmm.
know it's an inward,
Yeah.
probably have a different idea about it, but to me, it's like if I can imagine it, I can actually do it. Or
Mhm.
there's somebody that I can ask who knows how to do it
Yeah.
or has done it before. And my intuition is more like I'll be working with my clients and I'll just get a download. It
Mhm.
comes as an image, a thought, or a set of words.
Yeah.
And I just go with it. I used to hear voices, so then I kind of thought I was crazy.
You're not crazy, but I like, have you ever seen the word so impossible? If you actually break it down, you can say I am possible, like I, and then the apostrophe impossible. So to me, when you talk about imagination, when you're starting to tap into that, you're leaning into what's possible. You're imagining what's possible. And as you do that, you can start to become what's possible. And then you start to become what's possible, and you're like, oh my God, I'm living it. So I 100% agree with you around imagination. And it does open what you can call the third eye. So I live on the corner of the third eye for reals. It's I and third. It's so fun. And it's
Agree.
like that inner vision. So the imagination can help open that third eye, that inner vision. And that's what we talk about with the kids because they're like, third eye, what's that? Inner vision. It's what you're seeing,
Mhm.
right? And kids actually can also see very well.
Very
Um,
clear.
Right. So it's like when you're opening your imagination, you're opening your inner vision, you can actually foresee the future if you want. You can see multiple choices and what, those will do for you, right? And choose the path that serves the highest for you, right?
Mhm.
And everybody else. So it's such a gift to be able to develop your intuition, start by opening with your imagination and exploring as to like, who do I want to become and who do I need to become, right? To live out my full potential. It's
Ah,
a great
I
question.
think absolutely. It's all about who do you want to be?
Yeah.
Who do you want to be? And it's so interesting, Abby, when we're talking about impossible,
Yeah.
I've taken on this phrase from Ken Kragen, the
Mm.
guy that created We Are the World and all these
Okay.
impossible things. And he said, it's easier to do the impossible than it is to do the possible.
Agreed. I agree.
I so agree. It's like when you can take that on. So when I work with my clients, I always tell them all the time, the more fun I have, the more money I make.
Yeah.
And I found out Einstein said that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It
Yeah.
cracked me up. But I think it is easier to do big things
Yeah.
because
100%.
people want to help you do it.
Yep.
They align
That was
behind
the part of
your
it.
belief in something larger than you,
Yep.
and they get excited
Yeah.
and they want to volunteer or they want to come and work with you or all these different things. They send people,
Yep.
you know, all this magic. It appears like magic is how the universe is really conspiring for you to be bigger, bigger, and bigger.
Agreed. Yeah.
And we can use our intuition to go, this feels good.
Mhm.
This doesn't feel good.
Right.
Go towards the feel good. I mean,
Yeah.
I used to make jokes about it and say, if it's fun and easy and I'm going to feel good, you can count me in.
Yeah.
I used to laugh, but
Yeah.
that's really the truth. It's
Yeah.
like where everybody else is kind of in the overthinking,
Mm.
struggling with circumstances,
Yeah.
which we all have. I mean, I laugh when people tell me their circumstances because I'm like, welcome to the world of humans. There's
Cute.
just all sorts of goat rodeo stuff happening out there. And you could focus on that if you want, but
Yeah.
that's going to go in a certain direction. Or you can just go, nope, here's my vision. Here's my intuition is saying this is going to work for me. I'm going with that. And it's how I think it's a great way to choose people you want to work with or choose things that you want to do.
Yeah.
I mean, you read all these amazing stories. Um, I read about this woman who created a business out of poop
Oh my goodness.
and periods and pizza. And I was like, that's my girl. She's
That's so
totally made
cute.
$1 million business out of each one of those ideas,
Um,
which other people would be going, well, that's not possible.
yeah.
You
Right.
can't do that.
Yeah.
For me, being a disruptor, my nature, when someone says you can't do something, I'm like, that means go do it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm the same way. Totally, 100%. I want to pause for a moment with something you said and really just let everybody know you can start where you are, following your intuition, right? So you just said, everybody has their own thing, whatever's going on, right? And so it's like, wherever you are, you can start now. So if your circumstance feels overwhelming, well, let's get centered in your intuition and see where it's leading you from this moment into where you want to be, right? Because I'm paraphrasing what you said, but you're like,
Yes,
well, you go down this
absolutely.
road of where things are, or you can decide to create what you want. It's going to feel a heck of a lot better to create what you want than go into like I don't like these circumstances road. So it was just really, powerful to just get the download of like, yeah, start where you are, start following your intuition where you are right now. And that's going to get you where you want to go.
Absolutely. It's all about moment to moment to moment, little by little by little. We have a tendency to want to,
Yeah.
love to say to my friends, they're in business for 18 years. I'm like, oh, only 2 more years and you're going to be an overnight success.
Yeah.
We think it's this huge leap because that's what we love to hear about, but
Mhm.
it isn't. It's actually little intuition. Okay, I'm hearing it. I'm going to ignore it.
Yeah.
That always gets me.
Don't ignore it. Don't ignore it, but listen to those little voices.
Again, it says it again. The other day, this is kind of funny. The other
Yeah.
day, I had my water bottle on top of my car by accident, came out of the gym, went around the curve, clank, the water bottle falls. I hear my intuition say, don't back up, you're going to run over it. I'm like, what are the odds of that? Logical mind, odds, backed up right over it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, these little messages of intuition are going on all day long. We're so up here with our logical mind, it kind of drowns out hearing it.
Right.
And I think that's where if we could just allow ourselves to center, as you were saying,
Yeah.
when you can center and bring your nervous system down into a more relaxed state, then the cortisol level goes down and you're actually open to
Mhm.
receive the intuition, solving a problem, any of the things that you might be uh, working on or situations you might
Yeah.
find yourself in.
I love that. Yeah. Yeah, we teach a lot of that in the Intuitive Success Club, where it's like you're literally calming yourself, going into your center point and working from a foundation of love, right? Because it's like that sets you up for success. You're attracting at that higher level. And fear can often block, right? That loving expression, right? Or like your mind, you said, right? So clearing those things that are stopping the natural life force from flowing. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Absolutely. It's the fear that it's the block, it's the stop. It's just like you just get hung. you get in the cycle. You get in the cycle of that. So, you know, there's all sorts of techniques that you probably teach as well, you know, simply breathing,
Mhm.
taking a moment away from the screen.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
fun. Take a moment away from all this
Pause
and
us for a moment.
pause. I could sit and be quiet for 3 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever it is,
Yeah.
and allow that quiet space. The
Yeah.
space is what is needed for the intuition to
That's right.
show, from my point of view, to show up.
Agreed. Agreed. Space creates. I remember years ago, I was feeling that we started the nonprofit for kids, One Heart Global, where we go to orphanages and teach these kids, and I'd get these visions and I'd just create from this space, right? Like I just spend hours in meditations and then I trust the imagination, the inner visions, and I'd go for it. Like I showed up in Thailand, just like, I don't know, I know there's kids I'm meant to serve here. And somebody serving me breakfast told me about the orphanage, right? Like that much faith where you're so connected, you're in the spaciousness and you're just allowing, right, yourself to be guided and really trust. I think that's the other key.
Trust is extremely important. And I know for myself included,
Yeah.
trusting is a challenge.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for
Trusting,
sure.
oh, this is all going to work out, or this is all for me, or
Yeah.
what is the next step from where do I need to move, or who do I need to call? Sometimes I don't know.
Right.
And the most amazing thing to me is when you just stay in your vision.
Yeah.
When you just stay on vision,
Yeah.
things flow. Maybe you get more dopamine.
Well, you're feeling good. If you're on vision, you're connected to those good feelings, right? It aligns your second chakra with your sixth, right? The feeling good of gut feeling, your intuition with your sixth, which is your third eye. Like, all right, this feels good because I'm connected to what I want.
Mhm. Yeah, it
Makes
goes.
sense. We make sense.
That's when I believe quantum flow
Mhm.
and quantum actually shows up in your life. You
Mhm.
couldn't even plan it any better, right?
Right.
Like we met,
Yeah.
couldn't plan it any better.
I know. It was amazing
Right.
pulling me in. So cute. It was like I was on stage with her. You pulled me on so many times because it's just like you know how to do it. It's so sweet. We do. We pull each other into our vision too, right? Like through attraction. It's like, oh, I love you. I like you. Let's hang out, you know? And it really is that energetic, just, yeah, attraction at the highest level. I
At the
love it.
level of what I call really um, clean,
Yeah.
really pure.
Yes.
That's when you really have your brand, when it's you.
Yeah.
You. It's not like you're somebody else or trying to be Steve
Right.
Jobs
Yeah.
or Sarah Blakely. You're
Yeah.
just being you.
Right.
And the more
Yeah.
we can all do that, I believe the happier we'll all be and the more successful
Yeah.
in getting whatever it is that you're after, whatever it is you're after.
Yeah.
But,
Just,
you know,
yeah.
it's always about expanding.
Yeah.
The universe wants you to expand, so
Yeah.
it'll push you.
I agree. I mean, I literally just called my mom. It was so funny yesterday walking by the beach. I'm like, Mom, I just have to be me and do it my way because that's what works. That's the intuitive success coaching process. We have to be who we are. And I was like, and you know, you don't have to take this word, but you could say God or the universe, but it's something I wrote in one of my classes. And it's like God's will for you is to be happy. Like you said, when you're happy, you're on purpose. Like you're moving forward, right? So it's like it is good to feel good. It's okay to feel good. And being you is the answer. It genuinely is the answer. When you're fully aligned, all your chakras are clear, you are you, right? And you're unstoppable.
Unstoppable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're gonna say it
unstoppable.
at the same time. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're just
100%.
ooh, what you're just
Yeah.
open
Yes,
for
totally.
to receive, to
Yeah.
give and to receive, the whole flow of it, the whole infinity is all about
Yeah.
giving and
Yeah.
receiving.
Yeah. And I truly believe we come with a unique soul purpose, right? So it's like you're going to feel good when you're on purpose. If something doesn't feel right, okay, recalibrate. Like, what direction do you need to move into that feels right, that fulfills you? That feeling of fulfillment is key. When it fulfills you, you know you're on purpose. You know you're doing the right.
Absolutely. And I used to say, if you don't know, you can't make a decision, then go home. I used to say it when we were in New York because there were so many options and so much stimulation. And sometimes you didn't know what you wanted to do. And
Yeah.
I was like, just go home and be quiet.
Take a
sit
pause.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah, sit down with yourself.
Yeah.
You'll either decide being at home is a great idea or
Yeah.
something will come to you.
Right.
But when there's so much like what we're experiencing right now
Yeah.
with the overwhelm and over options and AI coming in and all these things happening,
Yeah.
it's like, oh,
Yeah.
what is the right thing for me to do? What
Yeah.
is who's the right person for me to work with?
Mm.
You know, if you want to figure out who you want to work with, people make it so hard. It's so funny. Just decide who you like,
Yeah, it's
who you
true.
want to be around, because you're going to be working with them.
Yeah, totally. It's true. Yeah. Yeah, and that they have something that you want. They have
Yeah,
something.
they have something and they've been there.
Yeah.
So you're like, is that something that you can actually achieve since it's been achieved before by someone else? Either
Yeah.
they've achieved it or they've on the road to achieving whatever it is you're after.
Yeah.
Right.
Totally. Yeah, you model them. Absolutely.
Mhm.
So, how have you followed your intuition to greater income? I know you have. That's why we're having this conversation. But if you can use some examples of, yeah, I followed my intuition and that new source of income came, or whatever it is, right? Just that increase.
I think for me, it's really, if I think of it in general,
Yeah.
it's that whole idea that we're talking about, go towards what you love.
Yeah.
What would you love?
Hmm.
You know, I didn't start out to be a speaker.
Mm.
I don't, I'm kind of shy actually.
Funny.
But when I get with people, I get all bubbly and excited, right? But
Yeah.
then I'm tired or whatever. Then I'm on the couch. But
Uh,
you know, um, I wanted to give. I wanted to make a big impact. You know, I had been working at Vogue magazine in New York and living in New York and being like the it girl. And, you know, you think you're all fa that and I got, you know, a slice of bread. And, um, and then I was downtown for 9/11,
oh, wow.
which changed my
Hmm.
entire body chemistry, right? It was like a miracle because I don't see the world the same way I did before that experience.
Yeah.
And I kind of went, well, you know, what do I really want to do with myself?
Mhm.
And how can I take my talent, skills, and abilities and be contributing?
Yeah.
You know, and I think for entrepreneurs particularly, there are people who are pretty much, I mean, it's great to make the money. Don't get me wrong, it's great. And when I stopped focusing on that and started focusing on what I could give, that's what changed everything in
That's
my business. And my revenue skyrocketed. It was like, cool. I mean, it
yeah.
was fun, you know, to
Yeah.
not feel so crazy about the money.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you know, money comes and goes. That's how money is, and that's how it flows and what it does. But I think when you can really tap into a bigger purpose
Mhm.
and hold the vision, it's really about holding something long enough for it to actually appear in the world.
Yeah.
Sometimes things go quicker and sometimes things go slower. As they go slower, for me, in my experience, it's been I need to develop myself bigger in order to actually serve at that level.
Mhm. Yeah. Who do
And
you
as
become, right? To
I've
become.
done that, as I've become that,
Mhm.
I always
Yeah.
say to my clients, you can't build a business bigger than yourself.
Yeah.
You must expand your limiting beliefs. Everything has to be witnessed and changed and dropped and rearranged and all the things that we do.
Yeah.
And when I started doing that is when everything stopped being a hustle and a grind.
Yeah. Wow. I love that. I love that so much, just the embodiment of it. And it is so fun, right? Because you're becoming who you want to be and then you're living it. It's so beautiful. And I love what you said about shifting the beliefs, right? Because our inner does create our outer. So as we shift those beliefs, I mean, we have a whole module, an NLP module in the course about that because the
I
sub,
love NLP.
I do too. I remember when I realized like, how intuitive I was like, well, I can tell people, I can see people's energy, but if the block isn't cleared, then what? So when you actually clear the block, then the intuition is there and it's like a flower blossoming. So it's the most beautiful thing to clear those subconscious blocks because then you can be who you are. But
Mhm.
it's like, it's so, so real and right when you said that. So yeah, y'all can email us at success@lifeforceconnection.com if you want your blocks cleared because we love doing that for people because it's so fun to see the success that happens. So yeah, just thank you for saying that. It's really important. Yeah. Is there anything else you want to share about intuition and income and also about how making more money has helped you help more people? Like, I love what you said, the more you give, the more money you made, right? And
Mhm.
then with that money, how did you help more people? Like, so for me, I do these retreats that I charge for, and then I go to the orphanage, right? So in making more money, I was able to help kids and more people. So I really believe in that concept, but I'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I think, it's never really the money.
Yeah.
It's the resources available when
Yeah.
you have the money. So
Totally.
when good people make good money, they do good.
Yes.
That's
So,
just how it works. I think Melinda Gates is giving $1 billion
yeah.
to one of the charities that she believes in, one of the services that she believes in. It gives you an opportunity to touch more people in a bigger way. I
Amazing.
started a charity when I lived in New York,
Mm.
called Living Beyond Belief, and we gave college grants to New York City high school seniors that educated each other around safe sex, HIV, and AIDS.
Wow.
And it was just the
Mm.
biggest miracle ever in
Wow.
life to be able to give that way to a whole group of people I don't even know,
Yeah.
you know. And now what I do is I tithe. I tithe my money to the Unstoppable Foundation is one of my favorites.
You know what? I think she was one of the first people I ever interviewed on this show, Cynthia Kersey, right?
Yeah,
I swear
I
to
love
God,
Cynthia.
she was like over like 6 or 7 years ago when I first started. I interviewed her. Yep.
Yeah, she's awesome, right? She's
Yeah.
great. That's one of my favorites.
Nice.
When I was a child, this is kind of crazy. When I was little, I wanted to be a missionary in Africa.
Mm. See.
Like that's not really what I do today, but I can send money there to
Yeah.
Cynthia's organization, and then she builds the water in the village and educates the girls and things like that. It's just so great.
Yeah.
So that's what I think the purpose of, besides personally, having fun, the purpose of having the money and making a lot of money is
Yeah.
being able to contribute even more
Yeah.
in a bigger way.
Yeah, 100%. And we're all in it together. It's like the One Heart Global, actually, my nonprofit. It is that. It's like the one heart. We're all in it together as we share our one heart, like you were talking about as a little girl. Well, that's your heart. Like
Yeah,
maybe you didn't go there yet, but you're giving to that cause because that's your heart. And that's connected to the entire world. You sending that love out and helping her and those kids. Like it's amazing. Like it's full circle for me when you said that. I
yeah.
love that love.
I know it's like you kind of want to cry. It's
Yeah.
a bit like
Yeah.
I think we all need to connect with our hearts.
Yes.
And that's, when I speak and when I'm teaching other people to speak, it's about being vulnerable like that. It's
Yeah.
about saying, what breaks your heart.
And what opens it? Like I invite everybody to take a moment just to put your hand on your heart and feel your heart, feeling our love, feeling yourself just connected to the whole. And then placing your other hand on your belly, a couple inches below your belly button, right at your center point, that gut feeling of knowing. And just ask, what is my intuition guiding me to do today? And let yourself lean into that. Just like Anne and I leaned into each other and into this mission, really, of intuition and love and expansion. And then just see what your imagination shows you. What do you imagine yourself becoming? Who do you want to become? And then see yourself living it. And then a fun exercise is just to write down what are the steps you took, right? You start to really allow your intuition and even your subconscious mind to guide you in a way that serves you, because all the answers are within you. So when we take these moments to pause and listen, we're listening to our own inner teacher. So yeah, yeah, so beautiful. Well, is there anything else you'd like to share, Anne, before we log off for today?
I don't know. That was a pretty good little meditation you had going on.
Isn't that fun? And anytime, you guys can re-listen to this, and it's
Great.
so fun, just to
And
have that
sometimes
connection.
there's nothing. So I guess what I would share with people is if you can't write down steps or you can't see something, don't worry about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen to the nudge even, right? Like we all can feel those nudges. And like you said, the inner whisper, right? Or I keep saying you said, but I'm paraphrasing what you said, but
Right.
the thought of,
About the whisper, yeah.
voice. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
still small voice.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
That is the voice. And until you turn down all the ruckus up here, you sometimes it's difficult to hear it because
Right. Right.
it's like go over
Yeah. Yeah. The voice of your soul. Yeah.
there. Yeah. It's not a screamer.
Right.
It's not screaming.
It's gentle. Yeah. Listen to the whispers. Wow. Well, thank you so much, Anne. You're such a beautiful soul. It's always such a pleasure to connect with you. Yeah. All right, everyone. We'll see you on the next episode. Have a great day. Bye.